One of the hard things that I have, because I suffer from insomnia, is being able to sleep. Now, there are ways in which people solve how to not sleep. Counting sheep usually helps, having a nice hot bath, having a hot drink, like milk chocolate. Sometimes even hearing a bedtime story can help. My method, well, snuggle up to these guys. Think about tomorrow. And very slowly I start falling asleep. Sometimes even planning what I'm going to do tomorrow helps too. But it must be hard when you're trying to persuade someone to go to sleep. I'm sure parents have been in that situation where their children are so excited they're bouncing up and down on the bed, and you just look at them and you know that person is not going to go to sleep tonight. A lot of people look at me and think that. Prince John has trouble sleeping, and unfortunately it's poor Sir Hiss that has to find a unique way of getting his Royal Highness to go to sleep. I bet that's the one thing Robin Hood actually enjoys, the fact that he doesn't have to think about trying to send someone to sleep. But Sir Hiss is clever. Naive, but clever. As we'll see in this story, which is a Robin Hood story, and it's called A Royal Pain. Sir Hiss! Wake up! Wake up! Prince John shouted into the face of his royal advisor. Sir Hiss awoke with a start and sat bolt upright in his tiny cradle at the foot of Prince John's bed. What is it, Your Highness? Hiss replied. He shook his head and tried to shake off his sleepiness. Is everything all right? No, everything is not all right, Prince John snapped. I don't know how you can sleep while I lay here wide awake, tossing and turning. Sir Hiss realised that he would not be going back to sleep any time soon, until Prince John fell asleep himself. So he sprang into action, trying everything he could think of to send the prince off to dreamland. First, he brought the prince a drink from the castle kitchen. Prince John spat out his first mouthful. This milk is warm. Well, yes, Your Majesty, replied Hiss. Warm milk will help you get to sleep. Take it away, the prince ordered. Next, Sir Hiss tried singing a lullaby. He crooned, Go to sleep, go to sleep. Go to sleep, my little prince. To be perfectly honest, hypnotism probably wouldn't have worked that well either. For poor Prince John scrunched up his face and wiped it with the back of his hand and yelled, Say it! Don't spray it! Of course, Sir Hiss was annoyed, but he had one more idea. Why don't you try counting sheep? Oh, sorry. Why don't you try counting sheep? He suggested. Prince John did as he was told, but before he had got to 10, he lost his patience. Oh, I don't care how many sheep there are, he thundered. Poor Sir Hiss was on the end of his tether, and he was completely out of ideas. Then he spotted the prince's money bag, piling high in one corner of the bedroom. Suddenly, he knew just what to do. Okay, sire, said Sir Hiss. Then how about counting your money? Sir Hiss opened one of the money bags and pulled out a handful of gold coins. As he dropped a coin back into the bag, it made a soft clinking sound. He dropped another, and then another. Prince John closed his eyes and began to count each clink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Before he got to 10, Prince John was fast asleep, wearing a huge grin on his face. Sir Hiss was clever. Sir Hiss worked out that if Prince John was not going to go to sleep by normally counting sheep, which is what you and I would do, then maybe he'd fall asleep counting the one thing that he would love. And we all know Prince John loved money. I could imagine the villagers of Nottingham finding different ways to get some sleep. Maybe counting the hours to the day, planning how next to earn the money to pay their taxes. Some may even have prayed for Robin Hood to save them. And of course Robin and Prince John and Little John would be dreaming about their next heist from Prince John in order to save the poor. That was Robin's job. I don't even want to think about what the Sheriff of Nottingham was thinking. Probably the same thing as Prince John, to be honest, but everyone has their own different methods of going to sleep. Perhaps one day I'll find a method that will allow me to sleep a lot quicker. I'm going to give you a little warning at the end of this video. As you know, I've been changing my thumbnails recently, and I've been thinking a lot about the new law, the copper law. There will be a video about it later. That will be some changes to the videos. Now, I've got plans on how to avoid it, but what I'm now going to tell you is something very, very serious. Not all my videos I aim for kids. In fact, I try not to aim for just kids. I aim for adults as well. That's why copper's never been on my mind until now. Next week, I'm going to do a video that is very personal to me, and something that will be quite emotional for me. I hope that you can join me Thursday for that day, and I hope that you'll be able to understand and express with me exactly how I feel. Until then, you don't need to worry. Count sheep, count money, count the hours until the next sunrise. And if you're in the UK, I hope you get to sleep in this gale. And I hope the storm hasn't affected you. I'll say goodbye now. Sleep dreams.